Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a loaded PWW Talks. I'm your host, Dan, and I am joined by my best friend and also roller coaster friend and buddy, Mac.
That's not a euphemism for anything, by the way.
No, it isn't.
The way you say that, I was just like, hold on a second. That sounds wrong.
My carnival buddy. Because we decided, screw it. We decided to take a field trip this week to go to Six Flags New England for the first time in, 20 years.
At least,
and,
yeah.
I'll admit this. There's very few times in my life where I just sit there and I call something correctly, of where I just have everything timed out correctly, of what is a absolute perfect day to do this? And it's okay, let's go on the day where it's going to rain off and on all day, not downpour, but more or less it's just going to be a little drizzly out, kind of rough. And it's also going to be below 80 degrees and not that sunny for two people that are mostly pale. So we needed to make sure.
Mostly.
So we wanted to make sure that we were not going to be roasting ducks all day. So we ended up. It was probably one of the best amusement park experiences I've ever had. In the case of, we plowed through every top ride we could at the park within a probably 3 to 4 hour window, which is almost unheard of. No one has a run like that. It's very rare because sometimes you have to plan it out. And the last time I went, which again was over 20 years ago, was you're thinking, maybe I could get on this ride. Maybe I could get on 2 or 3 more. And that's about it. When you go over 6 and you're maybe at 10, maybe 11 or 12, you had yourself a day.
I don't remember, but we lost count. We lost count.
We lost count.
Least. And the wait time I think was the biggest thing, because I remember going 20 something years ago, and the wait times for some of these rides was just ridiculous.
God awful.
And yeah, it's like any other theme park that has a fast pass, if you will. But we didn't need that day. The longest we had to wait for a ride was 5 minutes. The
longest.
And that was not bad at all.
We were just plowing through it. We're just over here. And of course, I'm just the bigger they are, I'm yeah, take it on. Especially Superman. Good Lord. I mean, the only hard part that we had to deal with that day was being harnessed in certain places. Just you felt like your shoulders are pressed down. You're I can't move. How am I supposed to get the seatbelt on if I can't lift my arms? How? But it was a hell of a lot of fun. Except I do have some complaints. How about the high price of parking?
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous.
Parking should not be the same price as admission to the park. It just shouldn't. Okay,
I get it if it was. I'll just say
preferred?
a car. No, well, not just that, but I would understand it if it was a car full of people.
Yes,
it's just 2 of us.
It was just us.
The price of parking was a little ridiculous.
It was just 2 stoners.
That's not where I was thinking you were going to go with that, but okay.
It's just that's how we're just going into this. All right, we just want to have a good time. All right. We want to recapture our youth a little bit. And that's exactly what it was. It was, I did feel old at times, but at the same time, I was who gives a shit, really? These people don't know if we're parents or what the hell's going on with us.
I feel like it doesn't matter. Like there are plenty of
No.
people that are even older than us that were there. So who cares?
Oh yeah, I think some people sometimes you just have the right idea, especially too this time of year because we wanted to go before the July crowd starts and people are you don't know this week. This week could sometimes be kids are still in school, parents are still working. It's just all these things. So it was just like, okay, all right, it's going to be 70 something degrees. Yeah, this is the day to do it. And the fact that there was no people there either, it just made it that much easier to have the run of a lifetime. It was like at certain moments, I just felt like we were like the only people there. Like it was very like lineal space. It was just like, wow. Especially too, considering the fact I'm growing up, that it was such a draw of our youth, especially even with my nieces growing up with them, how it was a draw for them and their youth. And this time I went and I'm just like, I can't believe in my 40s, I'm now able to ride on every single ride I wasn't able to hit in my 20s.
But I mean, it wasn't even the fact of like you being able to get on or off the ride or anything. It was also the amount of people. Because
Yes.
I remember when we went 20 something years ago at this point, I think Batman to get on that ride was over an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's misleading because some of the rides you can see the line. But other ones, you kind of have to get in a decent way to be able to see the line. Like
Right.
Superman, like Batman, because they hide it behind like all these like stuff. So, okay, fine. But, walking through, I could see like, yeah, we're getting on this ride right away. And
Yep.
sure enough, a lot of them we got right on. Some of them, like I said, it was a 5-minute wait at most, and that was it. And listen, like I said, that's a good day to hit pretty much every ride that you want to hit, save maybe one or two that you don't really care if you hit it or not. That's a good day. That's a good day at a theme park.
And then you're coming in. As you're coming in, you go to the the carousels as you walk in the park, and the guy's just like, "Hey, you guys want to jump on already?" It's like we just walked in 2 seconds, and they're already asking us to jump on a ride. It's like, okay, this is a good sign because it's like, all right. And then you're going, like, you just walk to one end of the park, and it's like immediately being able to get loaded on a ride, and then jump off that ride, go to another one, and immediately get loaded onto another one. Then go to the next one, immediately get loaded. It's like that. That was the day. That was the trend.
Yeah.
Where it was like it was one part, go on, walk to another one, go on that one, walk to the next one. That was, and doing this in such amount of time, it's like, I think we hit like
You were only
7
there
or 8.
4 hours at most.
And
At
we
most.
hit
And listen, it's not a big
everything.
park either.
No.
It's not a big park. So, but it's spread out. And obviously there are other people there, even though not as many as we would have expected on like a clear, sunny 80-something degree day. But there's still people. Like I said, we had a 5-minute wait on a couple rides. No big deal, though. Some of that was people just got on. We got on the next one, fine. Sometimes it was, no, we had to wait because there were people. But
Right.
again, it wasn't anything obnoxious. And to be able to hit all those rides within approximately 4 hours, it's not a bad day at all.
No.
At all.
It like I said, it's like I think we rode the amount of ride. I think we rode just as many rides in the first like 45 minutes that I rode at Magic Kingdom with Steph in like a 4-hour window. So that
I mean, that's
that tells
different,
you
though. There's
it is different, but it's just still like it shows you the frustration sometimes of what you have to deal with when you go to these places of just like you wait longer in line than the ride actually is. You're like, oh my God. But I didn't feel that this time. It was just like this time it was just like I'm hitting everything I can. Like, because again, I don't know if I probably won't go back there this year. I might go back again next year, though.
Right.
Next year might be a day, but it'll probably be the same week. Look it out, see what days to do it again. Like, and that might be the annual thing. It might be for the next couple of years. I don't know, because to me it was fun. And hopefully next year they will get on the train And understand, you got to have Wile E. Coyote plushes in the goddamn place. What the goddamn, why? Why can I not just walk into it says Looney Tunes Emporium. So it should have Wile E. Coyote stuff up there, but you didn't. No.
Or Marvin the Martian.
No Marvin.
Or Elmer Fudd.
No Elmer
Or
Fudd.
Porky the
No
Pig.
Porky Pig. No Roadrunner even.
Yep.
They barely had Taz. Taz is barely represented there. They had one shitty plush, and then they had one that was like okay, but not great.
Yeah, it was. I was not impressed with the merchandise at all.
No,
really at all. They had a couple cool things, but most
Steph
of it.
was happy with the stuff they got though.
Right, but that's
And Giant Big Bugs Bunny now is a friend with the Giant Daffy Duck. So that's I got more bits I can do.
Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season.
We'll just all right, now it's like we could have, and now here to debate AEW versus WWE, Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. Actually, it'd be more Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny because one is represented.
Yeah.
You all understand that it's best for entertainment, Oh
my god.
Yeah, it's about pro wrestling, Doc.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what's coming, folks. That's what's coming. Some days, if I want to be able to, because sometimes it's like, hey, we need this channel to have some more content. All right, well, we're gonna do puppets now. We're going the puppet route because hopefully Harley Cameron will take notice. So we have a loaded wrestling weekend, folks. And I know that we've talked about that before because there have been some times that we've talked about 3 shows in a weekend, 3 major shows where sometimes it is AEW, WWE, and NXT. But now we just realized before we started this and reminded ourselves there is actually 4 shows that are going to take place this weekend. We have WWE Night of Champions, which is taking place at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. But it's Night of Champions. But it's taking place on a Sunday afternoon, of course, for the time difference.
Saturday.
So that'll be tomorrow, because we are recording this on Friday. So that, of course, will be on Saturday, the 27th. And then on the 28th, of course, we're going to break these days. I just want to preview this out. I'm not saying we're breaking all these down at the same time, because we're not. But then on the 28th, Sunday, which is also the anniversary of Mick Foley getting thrown off the Hell in the Cell. For all you nerds out there that remember dates, like myself and maybe Mac. NXT Great American Bash, TNA Slammiversary, and AEW Forbidden Door, which really isn't forbidden, but we'll go into that later. So we're going to start and talk about Saturday's big event, Night of Champions, 6-match card, and the WWE Universal, I can't, the undisputed WWE Championship will be on the line in a triple threat match where Gunther and Sami Zayn will challenge the incumbent world champion Cody Rhodes. And in the King of the Ring final, it will be Obafemi versus Jey Uso. In the Queen of the Ring final, it will be Liv Morgan in Io Sky. In the never-ending battle between Seth Rollins and The Vision. Just end already. Just end already. Seth Rollins will face Braun Breaker in a steel cage match. And Trick Williams will defend the United States Championship against all Ricky Saints. And finally, Tiffany Stratton defends her United States Women's Championship against Jade Cargill in a rematch from last SummerSlam. Slam, and other matches as well. Oh God. Oh God. It's literally you have.
I'm just gonna say it's great on paper, and practicality is probably gonna be awful.
The whole card, or just
The whole card, yeah.
Well, yeah, because we have. Here's the issue. Here's the issue. He'll break it on down from top to bottom. We have a polarizing WWE Undisputed Champion. We have Gunther that people like, and then we have Sami Zayn that people complain about as like Hulk Hogan and all that type of stuff. We've heard the Sammy Hogan type stuff and there's heavy questioning as well because you're in Saudi Arabia, whether Sami Zayn is going to walk out of Saudi Arabia as WWE champion. There's a distinct possibility that can happen. But also, you have to worry about the polarizing effect of that because Sami Zayn is not for everybody. And that's really come to head in the last 6 months to a year. Where if you did it 3 years ago, I think universally he was beloved 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Where now it's like, more polarizing. And then on top of that, you have Jey Uso facing Obafemi, which I'm 99.9% sure you are going to piss off the IWC on Saturday afternoon. And you are going to sabotage SummerSlam right out the fucking gate.
I don't know about that, but I do agree that it's going to piss people off.
If they go with Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, I'm not participating. I'm not.
I'll participate, but I might miss those matches.
Exactly.
It depends what the rest of the card looks like, though.
It depends what the rest of the card looks like, but it's just like I will be completely checked out of those matches because it's just the same old song and dance with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns again. And then on top of that, nobody wants to see Jey Uso in the main event scene. It's over. It's been over. You learned your lesson a year ago, or so I thought. And now we have to have this conversation again. When it's just only gotten worse, it hasn't gotten better. None of it has gotten better. But all signs are pointing, this is where you're going. And you're doing it at the expense of Obafemi, which you should be ashamed of. You should be ashamed of.
They wanted Brock to interfere. It should have been last week.
Exactly.
Should have been last week. It should have been at Saudi Arabia.
Him taking the L against Jey Uso sucks.
Yeah.
Because you're putting up against a guy that has no business in the main event scene, and it's proven he has no business in the main event scene. But you guys got to keep going back and forth to this. Why? Why? You can't get anybody else in there except fucking Jey Uso? Really? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody on the roster? Really?
Yep.
You shouldn't be doing this to Ober already. Okay?
This is the problem.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. This is the problem when you have a guy that is as big and talented as Oba, and you have a roster of other guys that are definitely not as big, let alone as talented as Oba. Because we saw it with Dominic, we're going to see it with Jay, we've seen it in the Fatal 4-Way he had. There are only so many people that he can lose to in a believable fashion, and Jey Uso is not one of them. Royce Keys, maybe. Brock, obviously. Roman, I'll say. Jacob, maybe. There are others, obviously, as well, but guys like Dominic, obviously, no. Guys like Jey Uso, no. You know, like there's obviously others that you could make the argument could go either way. This should not go either way. This should be Obafemi.
It should be Oba.
Get that you might want to hold off, but if you want to hold off, why'd you have him go to the finals? Stupid. You didn't have Royce get out of the first round, I should say, excuse me. So why are you having him get out of the first round? It doesn't make sense. And you have other guys that arguably could be in here that are not. One of them we'll talk about a little bit later, I feel like. But yeah, I don't like this match. I don't really care for the triple threat either. Liv and Io could probably go either way.
Here's my thought on this.
Oh, God.
This very well could turn into being for a vacated championship.
That's fair, but here's the rationale of why I feel it could go either way. If it's for a vacated championship, because yes, there are rumors that she's hurt, and nobody knows the extent yet. We might find out, on SmackDown tonight, or at, the actual event, Night of Champions itself. But Rhea has not beaten Io, and Liv and Rhea still have teased bullshit. I just don't really want a SummerSlam rematch from 2 years ago.
My thought process is this: if Rhea Ripley is hurt for an extended period of time, put the strap on Liv, have her be the champion of both. Have her be 2-belt Liv. And the reason I'm saying that is because of the fact that Liv Morgan is a fucking superstar. And
For wrestling, not for singing. I said what I said.
Just in general.
I said what I said.
In general.
I said what
I'm
I said.
not saying. I understand what you're saying, and you're right. She's not God's gift to singing by any means. But as a, not a pop star, but more of a, I guess you could say a pop culture star, where I think she has that appeal.
I'll agree with that.
Put the goddamn, just have her have both. Who gives a shit at this point? You're barely booking women on championship, but barely booking the women championships anyway. Just give her both. Why not?
Well, you say that, and they actually have one being defended this time.
Right.
I don't hate it, but if they do that, then they need to turn either Raquel or Roxy. Or both.
Or you just put the tag belts on them.
Maybe. I don't know.
Look.
I don't know what they're doing with those either, because this feels like very much a nostalgia run, and it's kind of awful. But that's a whole other topic for a whole other time.
And then, of course, we have I don't even want to talk about Braun and Seth, because it's just like, who gives a shit?
So the only thing I want to say about that is I don't understand why it's a cage match.
Maybe because there'll be a spot where Braun spears Seth through the cage.
So do it in a Hell in a Cell match. You don't need it to be a regular steel cage match. A regular steel cage match, I get it, but here's my rationale. The only reason I would do a regular steel cage match is Bronson Reed is coming back and he's going to do a splash off the top of the cage.
Yes.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Or
other than that, I don't understand it.
This is the problem I'm going to have. This is the finish, and I already see this happening because I know how they think. I know how Paul's just going to be like, oh, I think we should do a spear through the cage. Rollins falls out first and he wins the match. If that happens on Saturday, I think at this point I should just quit the industry. Like, if that honestly happens at this point, if that's the finish, because then it's like, because I hate at that point to sit there and be that lazy.
Oh, they've done it in the past. That's the thing.
It's like, that's the thing, but it's like, I already know that that's what they're going to do. Because it's like, oh, he uses the spear. So they're just going to spear him out of the ring, and then Rollins is going to fall out first and win the match technically. And that's how, so it's just like Rollins will be dead and he's getting his hand raised. That'll be the fucking visual. And then you're going to see Braun being like, ah!
Probably.
And then there's going to be no conclusive thing. This thing's going to go on for another fucking 4 months. And then it's going to come at Survivor Series where they're just going to be like, let's do another
Yeah.
War games with the Vision.
Yep. Yep. I don't
Hate it so
I don't care
much.
and I don't want it. After that, I guess we'll just go in order. So after that is Trick and Ricky Saints for the United States Championship.
Should be fun. I love everything Trick's been doing too. So I just
Same. It just feels very rushed. I feel like if you're gonna have him keep the belt, it should be him and Mello at SummerSlam. That's the only thing I'm gonna say because I felt like Mello should have gotten this spot, but it gives Ricky Saints a chance to be on the main roster of the PLE, so I'm all for it.
Yep.
And then Jade and Tiffany, 2 former world champions, fighting for a mid-card championship.
In less than a year after fighting.
Less than a year.
Championship.
Yep. At SummerSlam where they had a fight.
It's like, hey guys, you want the consolation prize? Tiffany Stratton, who doesn't know who fucking Sergeant Slaughter is, by the way.
It's not what she said. It's just that she said SGT Slaughter. That was, I think, what killed it for me. But, hey, not everybody understands military terms or abbreviations. I'm not going to bash her for that, but it was kind of cringe.
Look, and I understand the fact that she's the NIL and all that stuff, but that's part of the reason I am not a fan of NIL. And it's like, somebody in a group chat yesterday, again, it's like sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a fucking radish with a brain. The fact is that you can't be in this industry without knowing certain, like, you're doing appearances with these fucking people, moron. Like, you see this person, it's okay, why does he have like a sergeant's hat on? Oh, why is this like, you got to understand the gimmick, because you have a gimmick. It's Tiffy time. Of course, it's been the same fucking gimmick for 2 years, like, which is part of the reason I've been souring on her, because it's just, I get it. She's a great athlete. Blah blah blah. Fine.
Well,
fine.
I said it in that
She's
same
beautiful.
chat.
Blah blah blah. Fine.
Hold on. I said it in that same chat that she needs to go back to being a heel. Babyface Tiffany is mid. She's not working for me.
I don't even think it's just part of the reason why I think she's over that she is because of the fact, of course, she looks great, but I start to see the flaws where I'm just looking at it. Like, because I look at, like, Bianca, who always got better. I look at people like Charlotte, in my opinion, the last year or so has really turned her career around in the much better sense. She's kind of let it all go, I think. It's like, the funny part is with Charlotte is she might be looking at it from the perspective of, well, I've always wanted to carry my legacy, and then she's seen what her dad's done, and she's just like, you know what? I just want to have fun at this point. He's hurting his own self with his stuff. I can just have fun and not have to worry about world champ. And I feel like for her, a lot of the pressure's off her, which has made her, I think, extremely more likable, which I remember going into that WrestleMania match she did have with Tiffany. I'm just like, she was sandbagging her with all this and blah, blah, blah. Tiffany did what she what she had to do. And it's like, I look at Charlotte, who looks more sympathetic and more appealing when I look at Tiffany. It's just like, she's cooled off so much. And I think it's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, because 2 years ago, I was on that train. A year and a half ago, I was on that train. And then all of a sudden, I don't even know if it's the baby face and the heel thing, because it was like organically they turned her baby face. The fans did. It wasn't like a full-fledged deal, because the fans were chanting for her and all that.
Yeah, but she leaned into it, though.
I know. And it's just like, I don't know where the detachment all of a sudden came from. But also, too, that comment that she made with the Sergeant Slaughter thing, and it's not, I understand the SGT thing. That was kind of a dumb blonde moment. But then too, to also admit, I don't know who this person is. It's like, I don't know who any of these people are. It's just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because these are the people
for
that
me.
I
get it,
they
Dan.
built the roads.
Hold on. I get it, but it's some of those guys had a very small shelf life. Whereas if you put like Hulk Hogan or Macho Man or Ric Flair, others in front of her, she'd probably know exactly who they were. And there's you have to consider her age. She is what, 25, 26, maybe 27. She doesn't have the same kind of wrestling acumen in terms of looking at the previous history of the industry to sit there and know exactly who everybody is. That's like listen, like I'll say a name that is not relevant to the conversation per se, but he's still somebody who's around, and it's the Boogeyman. He was never a top star, but he's there. He still makes appearances. He's still in these videos. She probably has had a video with him, I think, too, actually. A lot of them have. She probably knows who he is, but he's there. Some of the guys that she's not going to watch, and especially not growing up a wrestling fan and shit, I get it. But at the same token, there are people out there that don't know who Kenny Omega is. There's people out there that don't know who Naraku or Evil was, whatever. There's probably people, and listen, I'm guilty of it too at times, looking at some of the younger talent 10, 15 years ago and going, who the fuck is that guy? You know, like, I'm guilty of it too at times.
I'm like that still now.
Yeah,
like, who the fuck is this guy?
Exactly. So it's like, I'm not going to disagree with
some schlub from fucking New Japan, some New Japan World fans.
Wheeler Yuta. Who the fuck is that guy? But
God.
But it's just, I have a hard time bashing her for it. I get it. It's not the best look, especially when you're a representation of a company.
I met Wheeler Yuta. I'd just be like, I'd hand him a 20. Can I get that on 6, please? Like, it's just,
and I want fries with that.
Exactly.
You know, it's just, I get it. I get why people got upset about it, but it's like, I feel like this is chump change. I don't really care who she knows and who she doesn't know. Should she know some of them? Yes, 100%.
I get it. I get your argument, and I understand it. It's just like, it isn't an old man yelling at cloud
100%.
Me, where it's just like, you know, at least fake it. Like, at least, like, go do a little research or something and just read something at the end of it. Like, when you get into this industry, grab the encyclopedia or something that they have like laying around and just start reading and just at least know. I feel like Slaughter is somebody you should know. You know why? Because he made it fucking.
But hold on, I don't think she was saying about
Slaughter.
Because she said it after the next guy. I think it was the next person, the next name or whatever, and then she said, "I don't know a lot of these people." And listen, if you don't, that's fine. But again, like you said, dumb blonde moment, she probably shouldn't have said what she said. And I get that too. And again, I get it from the standpoint of there's two ways to look at it. Number one is, yes, she's very young, and yes, she probably does not know a lot of those people. I don't know if she grew up a wrestling fan, and if she did, maybe she wasn't paying attention to the guys when she grew up, because she is a lot younger than us.
Dumb blonde moments, right? Because I'll tell you one.
Hold on. On the flip side, though, real quick, she is representing WWE, so maybe she should use a different wording, I'll say, if she doesn't remember who somebody is. Just saying. She could still not know, but maybe not bold-face admit to that. Just throwing that comment out there, but go ahead, what were you going to say?
I mean, dumb blonde moments. My niece, quick example. We were in New Hampshire at one point.
Oh, shit.
We were going to see a movie, so we were we're in New Hampshire. So we went to the movie, and she just starts looking around the parking lot. She's like, "Boy, there sure are a lot of New Hampshire plates in this parking lot."
She know you guys were in New Hampshire, though?
She knew.
Oh, okay.
She knew.
And just for reference, how old was she at the time?
She was in her teen years.
Yeah, okay.
So this is but it's
Probably
still like
should
one
have
of those
known,
moments. It's still one of those moments I always kind of focus on.
Right. Understandable. 100%.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those scenarios where it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen again on paper. I don't spend too much time on that match, but on paper, all of these matches seem like they'll be good. It's just I have concerns because off of paper is where I get concerned because the Oberyn Jey Uso thing, the triple threat match. I know this match again. We didn't spend too much time on it, but it's two world champions that just fought last year over the world championship. Now they're fighting for a mid card title. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker is probably the only match I'm like, I don't care. Even as a cage match, I don't care. And, I think it has the potential to be a good card. I'm just concerned of what this will mean for their build to eventual SummerSlam matches. And again, I don't want Jey Uso to win, but I feel like that's already on record.
That's probably, that's more than on record.
Yep. All right, so we got 3 other shows to talk about. I don't think we need to spend as much time on them, obviously, but which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's pause this.
Okay, we'll pause. Anyway, so what show do you want to talk about next? Considering we have 3 more to talk about.
Christ almighty.
I agree.
I guess we could talk about, we just talked about WWE with Night of Champions, so we can talk about NXT Great American Bash.
All right, I'm going to read these out then. I'm going to make it fast because I don't think any of us really watch NXT religiously at this point.
No, we don't.
So I'm just going to go through bottom to top, as it were, for what's on Wikipedia. So Lola Vice is going to defend her NXT Women's Championship against Kendall Gray. Shiloh Hill against Tristan Angels in a singles match. Zarya will defend her North American NXT Women's Championship against Tatum Paxley, the former champion. Mm-hmm. Another singles match is Dion Lennox against Shaquan Sugars. I'm probably butchering that. I apologize. Ren Sinclair will defend her Women's Speed Championship against Ariana Grace.
Still a thing?
I guess so. I'm surprised they're doing it on a PLE, as it were.
All right.
Miles Bourne will defend his North American Championship against Tavion Heights. And Tony D'Angelo will defend his NXT Championship against Naraku. I mean, Evil. I mean, Io Sky's husband.
Does
Naraku.
Evil become the second? Well, actually, he would be, I forget how many IWGP champions, former IWGP champions would be NXT champion.
I'm not sure, yeah.
Because I know Nakamura is one of them. I don't know about Finn.
I think he wasn't he?
I think he was. I
don't remember exactly either. Yeah,
it gets very murky. Now now it's going to drive me crazy.
Well, keep talking. I'll look it up.
Yeah, but so I wonder if Naraku, or Evil for that matter, is going to become the another former IWGP champion to become the NXT the NXT champion, which
Finn Balor was junior heavyweight championship.
Okay.
So he was not heavyweight champion.
Gotcha. So he
Close
would be close enough.
Close enough.
So he very well could be, along with Nakamura, the second NXT champion to also be the IWGP champion, which, I mean, I hate to say I've always looked at Tony D'Angelo as a, what's the terminology called for it, my friend?
Transitional champion.
Yes, transitional champion. But I feel like that's...
Hold on. Before you say that, I heard that they're going to call him up sooner rather than later. So it would make sense for Naraku, Evil, whatever people are going to call him these days, to win then.
Yes. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing too. Naraku, I just looked up. He's 39.
Yes.
So his shelf life is not going to be long. It could be long, but it's probably not going to be long. Tony D'Angelo is 31.
Yes.
So he's got plenty of time to, I'll just say, do things. I'll say it that way. Be nice. I just, all this could be a regular show, I feel like.
Yes.
I don't feel like any of this is really worthy of being a PLE. I get it. NXT has whatever amount of PLEs that they do a year, and this is one of them, obviously. I'm fine with it. I think the matches will be good. I'll probably watch it on replay, sometime next week, because I think some of the matches will be good. Otherwise, it's just, I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care. And I'm sorry, I don't understand doing the Women's Speed Championship on a PLE. I don't understand that.
I don't understand that either. But
you're wasting 3 minutes.
I don't even.
You're objectively wasting 10. You're objectively wasting 10 between the
entrances
and everything else.
And all that stuff.
So why waste the 10 minutes? But hey, whatever.
It's not my money.
Yep. I kind of want to do Slammiversary next because I feel like there's.
I feel like we're doing this in the order of importance.
Yeah, I feel like there'll be more to talk about with Forbidden Door. So I'm just gonna read these off just like I did for the NXT show. So what's up?
I do also want to talk about the other TNA news that has come out this week, and also it has something to do with Tony Khan. So we'll talk about that after we run through the matches.
Yeah, we might as well. It'll be a perfect segue into AEW. So there's one pre-show match announced. It is going to be a triple threat match. Indy Hartwell, Maria Sadeh, and Elena Black. After that is Ultimate X match for the TNA X Division Championship. Cedric Alexander will defend against Leon Slater, Frankie Kazarian, Mr. Elegance, Fabian Aichner, Casey Navarro, and Amazing Red. The TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship, the Elegance brand, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance will defend against the personal concierge of Rosemary and Allie. In a singles match, Eric Young versus Ricky Souza. There will be a TNA International Championship Open Invitation. Mustafa Ali will defend against an unknown opponent. A no surrender match, Eddie Edwards versus Moose. TNA Knockouts World Championship, Leah Ying Lee against Zaya Brookside. Four-way ladder match for the TNA World Tag Team Championship. The System, Brian Myers and Bear Bronson. I can't say that name with a straight face. The Hardys, Broken Matt against and Brother Nero. Yeah, stop. The Righteous, Vincent Dutch, excuse me. And the Great Hands, Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. That is,
oh my God!
That is a tag team name.
The Hands, the Great Hands,
the Great Hands, the Righteous. Okay.
The Righteous.
The Righteous.
The Righteous is a cool.
And I mean, not the System's kind of a cool name too, but it's kind of funny at the same time.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just before I go on, I'm just gonna say Matt and Jeff. I'm sorry, you should not be at a ladder match at your ages. Just saying. Singles match. If Elijah loses, Francis will own his name, likeness, and music catalog. AJ Francis against Elijah. Okay. And then for the TNA World Championship, apparently this is a Call Your Shot Championship match. So I don't know what that means.
No idea
but it is Mike Santana defending against Nick Nemeth.
So, interesting note on the Hardys you were talking about. The Hardys were actually low because this show is going to be at the Agganis Arena in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes, sir.
Locally. The Hardys were in town recently at that Tom Brady Fanatics card vault thing they have now in Boston over by Fenway Park. They were at the Fanatics store. And you can get a picture with them if you bought tickets to Slammiversary.
Okay.
I needed to take a moment just because of the fact that those guys are legitimate icons / legends, you can argue, from the Attitude Era, and here they having to resort to take pictures with fans to get
Well,
people to buy tickets.
Oh, let's do this real quick. Just because I think it's funny. There are lots of tickets still available.
Mm-hmm.
If you just go on like StubHub or Ticketmaster, I'm sure it probably has them too. I went on StubHub very quickly after you said that. The cheapest ticket is $60.
Mm-hmm.
You are in the 108, which is opposite of the entrance ramp. If you want, it's not hard cam side, but it would be like right behind the announcers, that section. I'm not seeing what row it is. Actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. Row 1. $172. If you want hard cam, there are 2 tickets left. It just says the section. I'm not seeing exactly what row it is. It is $1,450.
Jesus Christ.
If you want to be behind the hard cam side, it is $404. Right next to the stage on either side, it is $1,248. So I'm just gonna say it this way: there are reasonably priced tickets if you want to go.
Yes.
You know, like just I say that to any fan in the Boston area. Obviously, you know there are reasonably priced tickets if you want to go. I already read the matches off. It's, you know, some of them might be interesting if you follow TNA. If you like some of those stars that I mentioned, sure. I don't really think this will be a bad card for what TNA has. It's just it's hard to get past the news that's come out since of their releases, and obviously like some of the talent they ended up keeping or retaining, if you will. I just okay.
And the news hit this week as well, which will kind of
Segue, yeah.
segue into AEW, is TNA is up for sale for the asking price of about $40 million, as the company is looking to get the money that they put into it back. So a $40 million payroll.
Screwdriver. Where's the screwdriver?
The bucket.
Sorry, I was trying to do.
The bucket by the dryer.
I was trying to do sign language.
It's yellow. It's a yellow handle.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Should have grabbed a Bret Hart figure, and I would have known what she was talking about.
Probably. Probably would have.
Just took a screw to the Bret Hart figure. Would been like, all right, yeah, you need a screwdriver. So it is. They're asking for $40 million for TNA wrestling, which it ain't worth that. You're lucky it's worth, for the tape library alone, it's probably worth about 20% of what you're saying it is.
I don't think it's that.
Because you think about what WWE paid for WCW, that kind of set the market, which was about $2.5 million. So, but you have about 25 years of content that you'd be buying, and that's of a large library of a certain number of talent that are under contract with you. Like if you own the TNA wrestling library, at that point, it's just like you have AJ Styles' entire career if you're WWE. If you're Tony Khan, you now are in the position to be able to have not only Ring of Honor, but now TNA under your umbrella. He came out this week in an interview, of course, because he was doing press for Forbidden Door, and he was blatantly asked, "Are you interested in buying TNA?" And he laughed and said no. And then she said, "Not at that price.
Right.
$40 million it's not worth that." which he's right. It isn't. Tony, people will probably argue that he paid too much for Ring of Honor, which
He did.
I don't think he.
No, he did.
He did. He did because he didn't of what he's done with it. That's why I'm.
Oh, what do you mean? What he's done with it? He's done nothing with it.
That's why he
Okay.
paid too much of it because he
Okay.
didn't. He paid too much because has done nothing with it. Like if he paid $10 million, then he's done nothing with it. He hasn't made his money back on Ring of Honor. He hasn't. WWE probably would have made their money back, but at the same time, like they didn't need it. They didn't need Ring of Honor's content. TNA, that's different. Because TNA, you're talking about like 25 years of weekly TV, and that's AJ Styles, a good chunk of his career.
Well, you also have
And-
guys that came in like, Kurt Angle, like Hogan when he came in, like the Dudleys when they came in, like Sting. You have
Exactly.
a lot of talent that went there and did things, like Ric Flair even though it was the twilight of his career. But either way, it was the twilight for a lot of them anyways. But you still, I would argue that Kurt Angle in TNA was better than Kurt Angle in WWE.
Yes, you can make that argument, but that's also too. That's also to a symbolic time of his life where you're
Oh,
looking at him,
100% it was.
like that was not his healthiest.
No, I agree.
And I think that's why I can't look back on that because it's just like it's. Yeah, I look at Kurt Angle and I think to myself, it's like we were really close with him of it being. It could have went either way. It could have went a way of he's found dead in his hotel, or it's another Chris Benoit situation. That's how sadly it felt like that it was going to happen with
No,
Kurt
I don't disagree with that.
at certain points in his career. And I think he would admit that. I don't think I'm talking out of school by saying that. It just felt like that's kind of where his mindset was at because of his addiction. And two, it's just he was on a reckless streak that I've never seen anybody really been able to come out of okay with. I had a thought, and this is the part that bothers me because I had a really good thought and I just completely lost it.
Well, here's what I'll say then. Regardless of maybe you'll get it back anyways. 40 is too much. 30 is too much. 20 is too much. I even maybe think 10 is too much. $10 million I think is too much. I feel like if you're gonna pay $10 million, okay, but you'd get the library, you'd retain some of the distribution, and you get the time slot on AMC. Those would be the only ways I would do that deal. And even then, I feel like $10 million is too much. I don't know what a fair price for it would be, but something like 8 or under for me.
That's why I said 8 million, which would be 20% of 40. Because I just said I'm like, I would give, it's probably not even worth 20%, but I would give them 8 tops.
I think 8's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a fair, you're not going to get 40 million, not in this landscape. It's not going to happen. I understand that, this is not WCW.
Well, but here's the thing, who do you have that's worth buying the entire company? Yeah, you get the tape library, but the tape library alone is not $10 million.
No.
So who do you get? You get Nick Nemeth back, and if I'm WWE, I already released him once.
He's not gonna move anything.
Who's gonna Santana is not worth $10 million.
Santana's okay.
He's not worth $10 million though.
He's not worth $10 million. But this isn't like when because it bothered Flair that this wasn't said to him from certain people, but it was later admitted to him that he could have held out WCW when that transfer happened, when Turner bought them out for a lot of money, because he found out later that they would not have bought WCW. Turner would not have bought the NWA from Crockett if Ric Flair was not involved.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all,
So
honestly.
Flair could have wrote his own check, and Flair didn't do that
It doesn't surprise me at all, honestly. That
because no
He
one
would've said
told
no.
him to do that.
right.
Like,
course
just
not.
say, hold out, hold out,
Of course not.
hold out. And so it's just that there is no one in TNA that is going to get you the Hardys. Come on.
They'll just
Like-
go back to AEW. Who cares?
Or they'll go back to WWE for that, man.
I mean, I don't think they will.
I mean,
but-
they've already got they're going to be in the video game, for Christ's sake. They've already been in NXT. You know, like
I guess.
the guys that I'd want is like Moose. Moose is a guy that I've been kind of coveting for years. But you know, there's talent that they obviously have that would be great, but at the same time, like, you know, with this company right now that they're dead in the water. They're a dead in the water company.
I mean, if they're
because-
trying to sell for $40 million, then yeah, you know they are.
They're dead in the water. It's over. Like, it's a dead in the water company. You know that, like, they're trying to cut costs no matter where they are. The show, you're going to look at this and you're going to think, is anybody really even going to buy it? Because again, you're going to get a much better show with a lot more stars if you just wait a couple of hours, which is what Forbidden Door is going to do, which it's really not Forbidden Door. This is an AEW pay-per-view, but it's not Forbidden Door, folks. Like, if you look at just look at this card, it is not Forbidden Door by any means. Like, this is they could have just named this any other AEW card, like any of the other pay-per-views on the pay-per-view calendar. They could have named this show that, and it wouldn't have made a lick of difference because this does not feel like Forbidden Door. It's the same exact argument that I gave you guys last year when I said, I'm like, this doesn't feel like Forbidden Door, and now it's even more drastic that this does not feel like Forbidden Door at all.
All right. Might as well jump into it. So it's 2 pre-show matches for now.
I'm sorry, did I cut you off on
No.
TNA? Or were you done with TNA?
No, I was done with TNA.
Okay, cool.
Trust me, there's nothing literally nothing else to talk about. So there's 2 pre-show matches again so far. TBS Championship Survival of the Fittest qualifying match. So I guess they get a match down the road if they win. Sky Blue versus Micah. Can't imagine who's winning that match. The AEW World Tag Team Championship, Women's World Tag Team Championship, will be defended on the pre-show. Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross against Thunder Rosa and Olympia. Again, I wonder who's winning that match. And then we jump into the show itself. So AEW World Tag Team Championship, Cope and Cage will defend against the Dogs of David Fidley and Clark Connors. 3-way tag team match, the Young Bucks against El Sky Team, which is Mystico and Mascara Dorada,
CML.
Yeah. And Unbound Co., which is Shingo Tagaki and Titan.
New Japan.
Yep. AEW Continental Championship, Jon Moxley versus Bandito. IWGP.
AEW.
Yep. IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, Shota Umino will defend against Pac. We don't need to say that one. AEW Women's World Championship, Thekla will defend against Starlight Kid. I believe she is Stardom, actually. Yeah, she is. Women's Owen Hart Cup Final. The winner will receive a Women's World Championship match at All In. Will be Mercedes Moné against Maya World.
Maya World, a alumnus of this podcast.
Yes.
Former guest of this podcast back in the day.
Yep.
Check our back catalogs for that.
Yep. Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
Men's Owen Hart Cup Final, same as the women's, will receive a World Championship match at All In. I like this match. Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, but let's see. All In is going to be where this year?
It's back in London this year.
Will Ospreay is from where?
I believe he's from England.
Yeah.
Can't imagine who's going to win that match.
Can't imagine who's going to win this.
Still, it'll be a good match, though.
I know.
And then the last match is a steel cage match. which I feels like this should probably do some kind of like a War Games cage because this is a lot of people. It is Team Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Takashita, and Darby Allin against MJF and the Don Callis family of Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, Jake Doyle, Okada, and Andrade. If Team Briscoe wins, Mark Briscoe will receive an AEW World Championship match against MJF.
Jeez.
All that
Just for a championship.
just for a championship match down the road.
Oh my God. So
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But what? Is my math off here? 1, 2.
What?
Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Takashita. So it's 6 on 6?
Yeah.
In a cage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be 2 rings.
It might be.
But that has to be 2 rings. 6 guys?
I mean, they've done it before.
That's a lot, though, man.
I know. It's not a good visual on TV.
6 on 6 in a cage.
Unless you have a
one
cage
guy. But not even that, but 6 on 6. So 12 guys, really, if you think about it.
For one guy.
For one guy to get, yeah, that's wild.
So out of this 11 match card,
Jeez.
which that includes the pre-show.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4 involve other talents from other promotions, where 7 of the matches are all
because you can't
AEW contracted
Yeah,
talent.
because you can't count the last match. Because Okada and Takashita are alums, yes, but they're in AEW currently. They're under contract.
Exactly. The only
Starlight Kid,
match.
I think. Hold on. Is she still just Stardom? I think she is.
Yeah, she's only Stardom.
Okay, so that's 1. And then Shota, obviously.
Shota. Pac is with just WWE.
Yeah, or AEW.
Pac is just with AEW.
But right, he's still in the match though. So
Right.
So Starlight, Shota. What about Micah? Micah in the pre-show technically is just straight Stardom, I believe.
Okay. All right. So 5.
Olympia, I don't know. And then David Finlay and Clark Connors are AEW now.
AEW.
And then the 3-way tag match with Shingo.
Yeah, that was the one that I
Okay.
counted as one of the 5th one.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, listen, great, but like, I don't agree, right? Like, I don't agree that if you're gonna call this Forbidden Door, that you should only have half the matches be with talent outside of your company.
And, of course, there's controversy because the the IWGP champion has said that, he doesn't feel he needs to compete, which, hey, look, that is a problem that you have to figure out with the other promotions. But the fact is that New Japan is not what it was 5 years ago. New Japan is not what it was 10 years ago. The fact is New Japan is what it was 3 years ago. It is not the same. And you need to, I think, and I understand it's a distribution deal too, because New Japan World, you need distribution in Japan, things like that. I get it. I understand that. But it's just not working. It's just not. It hasn't worked. The last 2 years, has been significantly AEW heavy, where it's more AEW versus AEW matches instead of what is supposed to be Worlds Collide and the Forbidden Door Open, where it's just dream matches and all that stuff. This is not a dream match card. All this is the means to an end.
The
of your
only
weekly
dream
TV.
match in this is two AEW guys.
That's it. That's it. This is not a dream match card, though. This isn't something that is supposed, when this first started, yeah, it was a dream match card. We saw some really great, fantastic matches when this concept started. Since then, though, every other promotion has taken significant dips, and your talent pool has gotten stronger because you're paying these people to leave those promotions to come work for you. So all the great talents that New Japan had 3 to 5 years ago, you already are paying them.
Right.
So why are you splitting the costs? Why is New Japan going to get a cut? Why is Stardom going to get a cut? All the top talent that's on the show, they're all under your contracts.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Yeah. You
don't.
I don't get it. I mean, at the end of the day, excuse me, why Pac? Like, if you're going to have the IWGP Championship defended at an AEW show.
Because he's expendable.
But so what, though?
Because he's
why
expendable.
him? Of all people, why him? Like,
Kenny
Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr., okay, great. But why isn't Kenny in that position? Why isn't Jon Moxley in that position? Why isn't Darby Allin in that position?
He's expendable that can take the loss. That doesn't affect your weekly TV.
I mean, I guess, but I don't get it.
Because all you're looking for is a great match. You're not looking for, a transfer of the championship. Unless the plan is you're going to have Pac work both, which, that can work. That can work. I wouldn't do that, but that could work.
If he did, it would just be a transitional champion anyways, so.
Most likely.
I don't get it.
Hey, Takashita was IWGP champion just 6 months ago, so.
You're kind of making my argument for me, though. You're making my argument for me, though. Like,
I know.
Why not him? You could still have him in this match and him take the L. You don't need him on Team Briscoe. Yeah, but you don't need him. You don't need him.
You don't.
You don't need him. You could literally have anybody else to fill in. Takashita is not going to do anything in that match unless it's something against Okada, and that's
probably.
And I feel like that's the only reason he's in this match. Which, fine, whatever. But again, like, there are plenty of other talent that, whether they came from New Japan Pro Wrestling or not, that I feel like would make better sense than just random Death Rider Pac. It's like, I just don't get it. And to your point, I get it. I get that it doesn't really hurt any momentum he has, because he doesn't really have any right now.
That's the thing, he doesn't have it.
But at the same token, there are other guys that it's like, why not give them that opportunity?
You're looking for a great match. You're not looking for anything to kind of shake the world up. That's the way that they're looking at it, and it's just that's not one. There's other guys in the card. There's other guys that you can put in that matchup, but you're just like, well, I don't want them to take the loss because it's not for the no one's going to win the championship.
Yeah,
it's politics. It's all politics. It's like, and that's the problem when you do these interpromotional battles, because the one promoter's just like, well, fuck you. Like, so when you make that compromise, it's like, well, who can take the loss? That happened in 1990. Perfect example was, it was a week after Mania 6. They're in Japan. They're in the Egg Dome. Or it's the Tokyo. Actually, no, it's the Tokyo Dome. So it was going to be a All Japan versus WWF. And the Triple Crown champion at that point was Terry Gordy.
Right.
And it was going to be Terry Gordy versus Hulk Hogan. Gordy told Baba no. Because he knew it was coming.
Right.
So Baba called Stan Hansen. Hansen came in. If people want to sit there and shit on Hogan for his wrestling ability and all that stuff, go try to check out Stan Hansen versus Hulk Hogan. It's a fucking masterpiece. Probably one of Hogan's like best like in-ring work matches. It is fantastic. But that all came about because, again, interpromotional thing. It's like Gordy's just like, Gordy knows what's coming. He's just like, no, I'm not doing it. Because if you lose in Japan, especially when you're like the All Japan, like that was such a big deal. Like that championship was held so highly,
Right.
that it's just like, I can't do that. So he, they brought in Stan. Stan's like, I know, because he had a good relationship with Hogan. Stan Hansen actually was in No Holds Barred. He was, he got a role in No Holds Barred. So him and Hogan had a rapport. So it's happened. It's happened where it's just like they've had to do some political maneuvering to appease, because Hogan's coming back. Hogan's the top guy in WWF. They're the ones with the big money. All right, fine, fuck it. Yeah, we'll bring Stan in. And that's where I feel like this Pac situation is kind of going. So that's to just counter your point, though.
I mean,
just like,
maybe.
well, why is he in the spot?
I just feel that there are other guys that it would make more sense.
I agree.
I get it. Nobody in AEW is going to walk out with that title. Let's be real. But at the same token, if that's the case, why not put a top guy there? Have it be a believable match. And I'm not sitting there and say that Pac isn't a top guy, but when you have other guys that arguably are and that are holding titles and shit like that, you could do something. But
you don't want him taking the L.
I get that, but you're making a comparison of Hogan, and it's like none of those guys are Hogan. So it's I get the comparison. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man.
I'm not wrong. I'm just making it was more of a comparison of the politics of the game.
I understand.
Where that's where this plays into. Where, even though that's where it's like, that's my argument too, of like, why keep doing this then if you're going to have to sacrifice your own talent just to appease New Japan? Because they're barely on the show as it is. Keep the money for yourself. You don't need to showcase them. You have enough talent.
I mean, that is very true. And maybe to tack on to that point a little bit here, why the fuck are you going to put one of those matches against AEW and Stardom and stuff like that in the pre-show? To me, that just screams you're not important.
Well, that's the way that they've kind of, that's been the number one argument against women's wrestling for them. That they've kind of screamed that it's not important to them.
I mean, fair.
So, is it? I don't.
No, it's not. No, I mean, I'm saying that's a fair argument. I'm not saying
it's a fair argument.
I'm not saying it's fair to say it as a general statement. I'm not saying it's fair to the talent, but it's a fair kind of comment to make. Not because of any, derogatory or other views against the women talent of either company, obviously, or any company for that matter. But I do agree that sometimes it is looked down upon compared to the men's talent. I'm not going to disagree with that because it still happens, obviously.
Right.
Doesn't happen on this show, but it does happen.
No.
And I think it's unfortunate. But at the same token, my initial point does stand. It's like if you're going to have another company come in, you're going to call it Forbidden Door, and then you're going to look at your pre-show first, and then Sky Blue against her opponent, who's Stardom talent, you're putting that on the pre-show?
Right.
Like what are we doing? What are you doing? So, I don't know. I mean, listen, on paper, it's not a bad card, but it's just, I have a hard time calling it Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I think that's part of my issue, too, because it just doesn't... Again, you could have named it Double or Nothing. You could have named it Aces Wild. You could have named it Blackjack Brawl. But at the end of the day, this is an AEW show. This isn't a joint show. I mean, if they really wanted to do like a Forbidden Door, just do it in Mexico against CMLL.
Probably works
Just
better.
go all the way. I feel like it would be a better concept. I feel like it would be a much better crowd.
Could book Tessa Blanchard. You could book Tessa. Oh,
You
man.
can book Tessa Blanchard and explain to the rest of your roster, look, I like Tessa too. Like, that's the hard part because it's like,
I want to like Tessa.
yeah, it's just, that's a better wordage. You're right. I want to like Tessa. I also want to get behind her as a talent in the industry. But at the same time, it's like when her own peers don't want to work with her, fuck. Well, what can I do here? If your own peers don't want to deal with you, then I got to go with that. I can't, if they refuse to work with you, then it's like, yep, the locker room thinks you suck, so you suck.
It's not even the fact that they think she sucks or that she does suck. It's the fact that they don't agree with the things that she said. And that's,
That's what I meant.
No,
It's not has
I
to,
know.
you know,
I'm clarifying the statement. That's
yeah.
all. I got
Not that she's everybody in ring. Yeah, she's fantastic. Like A+ across the board, but like outside the ring, mid or less,
you. Or less.
probably less,
Probably less, yeah, exactly.
a lot less. So,
But yeah, a lot of
Well,
wrestling this weekend.
are you gonna watch? Are you excited for it? Are we just gonna like
For what?
the whole weekend? Like it's back to back to back back shows.
I was kind of just gonna say it's a lot of wrestling, and I have a hard time saying I'm excited for any of it. Will I watch some of it? Yeah, probably at some point. I don't think I'm gonna watch any of it live though. The WWE show has the most potential for me to watch it live because it's at 1:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday.
Yes,
But
that
even
I
then,
feel like.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it live.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with all 4 of these shows because on paper I feel like they have the potential to be very good shows, very good matches. It's just the off paper stuff that and hear about, and especially with the TNA stuff going on too. It's really hard to be excited about any of that stuff, man.
It's not too with the potential for because you feel like what's going to happen with Night of Champions. You're not looking excited. You're not overly excited or anything that could possibly coming out of it. With the potential, at least for if Jey Uso wins, that's just going to really kind of bother people like immensely, and as it should. Like that's something in my mind that I'm just like this.
I think that match has already divided the community.
Yeah, and it hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, it hasn't even happened yet, and I think it's already divided the community. I'm okay with the triple threat for the WWE title. I'm just gonna say that. I just don't want any BS with it, and I know there's gonna be BS with it.
Of course.
I feel like the same thing with the steel cage match. I feel like same thing with the women's Queen of the Ring match. A lot of these matches have potential for BS, and I'm not okay with that. And I get it. You want to give people a payday with the Saudi money, and I get that. But at the same token, if this is an overbooked show, I'm going to start to lose interest really fast. And I think everybody knows it's going to be.
I think that's the problem. I feel like that everybody expects that this thing is just going to be like, nothing conclusive. Like it's just
this is a means to an end to get to SummerSlam. Let's be real.
We're just getting to SummerSlam. We just need to get to SummerSlam, guys. That's it.
The NXT show, I think NXT puts on a quality product all the time. It's just hard to watch it every week. I'm okay with it. I don't understand the Speed Women's Championship being defended on it, though. I think you could find something else for 10 minutes of your time. The Slammiversary show, I'm not really interested at all, honestly. At this point, if you're trying to sell your company for $40 million, I get it. I really do, but it's going to make me lose interest even more than the lack of interest I already had.
That's the
And
thing.
the AEW show, just real quick, I'm just going to say this real quick before I let you talk. The AEW show, again, we've already said it, it's not Forbidden Door. It feels a very weirdly booked show to me. The 6-man or 6-on-6 cage match, just so one guy can get a title match, I don't find that compelling whatsoever. I just don't. Go ahead, sorry.
I feel bad for the TNA fans that have been kind of in this, the 6 of you that are left.
Yeah.
But I feel bad nonetheless for the people that are still left. And I'm, of course, kidding. I know there's probably not 6 left. There's
7.
probably
7.
Yeah, I'm willing to. Yeah, I was just going to say 7. But regardless,
Right.
I can really understand their frustrations because of the fact it's just like you've thought the last 5 or 6 years that things were really starting to come up on an uptick. You thought with the AMC deal that things were really going to start to come out of, and then you saw the first episode and you're like, and nothing's going to change. And that's kind of where they're at as a company. And it's going to be very hard for them to garner support from the audience or from what's left if this is what's going to happen. If they're just going to be, their hearts are going to get torn out countless times. Because this is, I don't know if it's circling the drain, but it sounds like it is. They're looking to sell, and I think it's time that for you guys that have stuck around long enough, maybe it's time to start thinking about going to another product, because you're losing a lot. It's all that talent, all the support backstage is now gone. And they're going to be a rudderless ship at some point. And I feel like it's really headed into that direction where it's going to be very quickly before, like this could be the last, this could be their last hurrah. Who knows? And I know I've said that several times before, but this is the first time that I could think of where I've openly heard people talk about like a sale and things like that. Under the Dixie Carter era, it was more or less just like, well, we're going to have enough money to fucking fund it. So
I'm interested to find out more about the sale. I know we talked briefly about it, and will probably be something we talk a little bit about next week too, when we kind of review all these shows, at least in part. But it's like I'm very interested to find out more, because even outside of that, I keep hearing different things, right? Like, they're interested in this talent. They might want to do a mid-card title. They might want to do this. And it's like, all of a sudden, now you're hearing those things in conjunction with, well, TNA might be looking to sell. And it's like, so what the fuck are you doing then? It's crazy. And, I know they want to probably recoup some of their money for some of the contracts that maybe didn't go their way. I know they probably want to recoup money for their media rights deals that are definitely not going to be, come again, I feel like, at this point. It's just, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't know one way or the other if this company has the longevity, regardless of whether or not they get bought or not, though. And, you talked briefly about Ring of Honor earlier. It's the same thing. They had Honor Club. They did absolutely nothing with Honor Club. They still try to put shows. I think they're doing weekly on YouTube. I don't even know. I don't check into that really, because I don't care. Yeah, they still have Ring of Honor shows. Yep. It's just I don't think they're doing anything outside of that, which objectively was a missed opportunity for them. We start with WCW, ECW, and WWE when that all started. We started again this past year with NXT and TNA doing Invasion or Showdown or whatever the hell they ended up calling it for reasons, I'll say it that way. You could have done something similar with that. You chose not to, and I feel like Ring of Honor just kind of became an afterthought. Even if it is on YouTube, it's still an afterthought. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening, if anything, with TNA, but I don't think the company is going to be here in 5 years. I'll say it that way, unless somebody buys them. And even then, there's no guarantee that they're going to be there in 5 years.
It's an interesting weekend. It's an interesting weekend for the business on several fronts, because who knows if this is going to be kind of TNA's last hurrah before,
Right.
Because we don't know at this point. We don't know if there's going to be a sale, if someone's going to be interested in buying it, because I feel like that they're in cost-cutting mode as a company, and they're just going to probably strip it down to nails and studs at this point. So I feel like every top talent that's going to be out of there is going to be out of there at some point. You know, when Tommy Dreamer leaves, that's like a sign. It's like, oh God, they're really thinking about that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. And the other shows, you know, it might be a summer of just like, it might be a mess summer. I hope not.
It really depends on Saturday, I feel like.
It really does.
Saturday is the last kind of push outside of, I think, a Saturday night or Sunday night main event before SummerSlam. So if SummerSlam is, you know, shaping up already on this Saturday to be a bad show because of a certain talents, plural, winning, then that's not going to be good. And it's going to kind of kill their market share, I feel like. Not like it's already hurting anyways. There's plenty of vitriol online about the way they book their shows, but it could get better, or it could also get very, very much worse.
Oh, it could get worse.
Yeet!
Nope.
It's funny.
I agree. But yeah, I mean, I hope we're wrong. I hope this weekend is a good weekend for wrestling. We'll talk about it next week, and I don't think there's anything else to say.
I do not think so either, my friend. So we were going to wrap up things here, and we will be back here next week to talk about more of the big weekend of wrestling that is going to be taking place this weekend, and also get ready for the Bicentennial, which will be happening next weekend as well. So goodbye, everybody. We will see you all next week.